Hello, my name is Darnell McEwen, and I am briefing you on the leadership assessment of the movie Crimson Tide. I want to start off by saying that this is a powerful movie that depicts many different leadership styles based on morals and habitual customs. First, I want to say that I really enjoyed this movie. It's one of my favorite movies because it's also one of my favorite actors, Denzel Washington. But let's discuss what the leadership styles were of Captain Ramsey and the Commander Hunter. I believe that Captain Ramsey has a autocratic leadership style, and throughout this course, we've learned that the autocratic leadership occurs when a leader makes decisions without asking for subordinates' opinions and suggestions, and therefore subordinates have no influence on the decision making process. An example of this leadership style in reference to the movie is the scene when Captain Ramsey comments about how the Navy is teaching its officers to want to know the why for certain requirements. Captain Ramsey autocratic leadership style, it prevented him from listening or even caring about what others' thoughts, what their thoughts or what their feelings were about anything, and that's not conducive to a healthy organization or team. Um, Captain Ramsey believed that when he gave out the orders, his subordinates should take it and accept it and move out, no questions asked. His character actually reminded me of some of my older leadership while I was serving in the military, and they would always talk about the old army and things that would happen in the old army. And in the old army, soldiers, lower ranking soldiers, just took their orders and said yes, sergeant, no, no, sergeant, and moved out. Um, and nowadays, they they want the older personnel or the higher ranking personnel to care about feelings and not to come as soldiers a certain way and this that and the other, which I think is a better way. But that's a whole nother story. That's another assessment briefing. I believe that LT Hunter had a participative leadership style, and throughout this course, we learned that the participative leadership style is demonstrated when a leader allows followers to contribute in decision making processes, thus making the participative leader consults with the subordinates, asks the subordinates suggestions, and takes subordinates' ideas into consideration when making decisions. An example of that, an example of Hunter's leadership style in reference to the movie was the scene just uh, when they wanted to actually launch the nuclear missile, um, and Hunter advised the commander otherwise. I think first it was well, the first reason was because they didn't receive the proper orders to do so. But then also, I think Hunter, he paid attention to, the faces of the other soldiers and how they were looking and feeling like I know it was an intense situation, and they were scared and everything, and launching a nuclear weapon of any kind, that's major. And I think that Hunter took that all into consideration, because it's serving in the military. I kind of know the dynamics, but it's easy to just take orders from your sergeant or your commander and move out. Because for one, you don't want to go against the grain, and then two, you don't want to you know disobey your officer, especially when they're giving you a direct order. But I think that because of his leadership style and taking everyone else into consideration, I think that propelled him to you know speak up and not advise him to launch that missile, because it could have been a wrong move. Um, And also, I think that the best leadership style that I would personally emulate would be the participative leadership style, because when being a leader, it's more than just telling your subordinates what to do and how to do it and always giving out direction. I think you have to, when you're a leader, you have to be considerate of yourself and others, the people that you're leading. For example, like if you're running a company, and I think it's very important to have moments throughout the year that you take feedback from your team, and see what their feelings are about situations or how to make things better, because that, I think, it's conducive to a healthy workplace, and it also, it keeps the morale going, because if your team feels like you care, then you know it's you'll be able to tell it through the production. um and It leads me to there was a scene with LT Hunter, and when he was advising Captain Ramsey not to launch the missile without clear orders, and because LT Hunter wanted to move the submarine back into position to be able to get clear orders. I think during that moment he depicted the alienated followership style. We know through this class that alienated followers are those who have a healthy skepticism of the organization, and LT Hunter he had a good understanding of the rules of engagement and the seriousness of the situation. And even though they were in a difficult situation, it was still vital to carry out the proper orders. You can't launch a missile if you don't have the proper orders from the top. Um, and I understand the importance of rules of engagement. I've served in Iraq and Afghanistan, and even when you're in doubt, that's your responsibility, is to follow those rules of engagement and to act accordingly. And this is my assessment briefing of the movie Crimson Tide. I encourage, if you haven't seen it, to go out and see it. And I'm doing this assessment in my bathroom because I was having lighting issues in my den. And this is, I guess the camera on my laptop is pretty cheap, but this is the best lighting that I could get. But thank you for your time, and have a good day, everyone.